Before we get started, I'd like to thank our partners at Warner Brothers, who without them this event wouldn't happen. And we'd like to think that it gets better every year, and we certainly have them to thank for that. So this is a great partnership, and we look forward to moving it forward. And thanks to all of our great fans as well. So they've made this really special. We're going to open it up now to introduce our talent. So first to the stage, bear with me. First to the stage is Bonnie Wright, who plays Evanna Lynch. Next is Katie Leung, who plays Cho Chang. Followed by Matt Lewis, who plays Neville Longbottom. And of course, Rupert Grint, who plays Ron Weasley. Last but not least, the lovely Evanna Lynch, who plays Lovegood. So we've got a couple roaming mics here. So if you wouldn't mind, before we kick off the Q&A, if you wouldn't mind raising your hand if you have a question, we'll find you, we'll get you a mic, and then we can kick it off from there. All right? So first question. In the back.
Hi, how are you tonight, guys? Thanks for your time. So, first of all, I write for J14 magazine, which is geared towards teenagers, and they're very passionate about Harry Potter, of course. So how do you feel about that and being such an inspiration for young people everywhere, recreating these characters?
Yeah, I guess I'll start. Yeah, no, it makes me feel so proud to be a part of this, and just to see that people are still really excited about it, even though the last film was, like 5 years ago, and people are still really, they really care about these characters in this world, and it's just a really special thing to be a part of it, and it's just great to see it live on even further, and hopefully it will live on even longer.
Yeah, well, you know, it's just to hear those words that you just said there, the fact that the thing that we did as a job, the most fun job you could ever imagine, is treated as an inspiration to people, and that is mind-boggling to me. But it's the most humbling and charming thing that you can hear, and the fact that we've had any kind of impression on anyone makes me feel $1 million. So just, I guess, an intense appreciation for the fans that kept coming out year in, year out. Thank you. Yeah.
I think that now that I'm older, it's really lovely to hear those words as well, because when you're a teenager, you kind of get caught up in, you know, what you want to be and where you want to be, and it can get kind of overwhelming. So now looking back, now that I'm an adult, it's nice to hear that, you know, teenagers are still into Harry Potter and it's affecting their lives, and they're being inspired through reading and through watching these movies as well. So yeah, it's something to be kind of really proud of.
Yeah, I think for all of us, I think it took us a while to separate ourselves from the experience. Like when we were filming them in a good way, we were very much in our own bubble of creating what we were creating, which I think was also great because we could just be present to that rather than thinking we're doing this for the outcome of it, or we're doing this because we want to like know what people think about it. We were just doing it because this is what we were doing, and it was the experience and it was enjoyable. But that did mean that sometimes you never gain much perspective on it. So having finished the series and being able to distance it and sort of see it as one thing and one experience has been quite incredible, to sort of re-establish what it means to us, and re-establish individually what it means to us, because we were all doing it together, and it was all, obviously, which was amazing because you're experiencing it and you weren't alone. But what's been quite nice is now to work out what my opinion of it was and how it affected me personally, and not how it affected like us as a thing. So that's interesting.
I like that we're seeing, like we meet kids who, that they weren't even alive when we were making the movies, you know, because it's nice to just see it handed down to people. And because when we were making movies and the books were coming out, it was exciting because a lot of it was that you didn't know, and there was a surprise element to it. And it's just nice to see people embracing it who it wasn't necessarily what they grew up with, but it's helping them through it. And because I sometimes I see young people on social media. I'm going to sound so old, but I see them with the Instagram and the Snapchat, and it sometimes makes me sad that they're all just looking at themselves. And it's nice that they have the books to look at, and because all the characters in them are a little bit odd, they're a little bit different, and there's so many. In each of the characters, there's kind of a hero for someone who's going through something, rather than looking at, perfect people on social media and being obsessed with that. I think it's much more healthy to be obsessed with a book and that world that J.K. Rowling created that is so full of diversity and strangeness.
Hi, it's the first time at this particular event for a couple of you guys, so I wanted to know what you thought about having an entire weekend devoted to celebrating Harry Potter here at Universal Studios, and if you've gotten to take a tour of the park, what do you think of the Wizarding World?
Yeah, for me it's very surreal always coming back here, because I think it's been out of my life for such a long time, and suddenly I'm at Hogwarts, and it's quite overwhelming. But it's great. I love it here. It brings back so many great memories, and I think the new expansion of the park is incredible. And they've done such an amazing job such an authentic job of recreating that world. And yeah, it's great. Sorry, I forgot the other part of the question.
If you, the celebration weekend, being a part of it for the first time, what do you think of it?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I love it too.
So a lot of the expo is based around Pottermore. Have any of you been sorted? And if so, which houses? And if not, which houses would you expect to be sorted into?
We've all just been subjected to it. It's forced upon us, and people watching us as we do it. So a lot of pressure. I'm Gryffindor again, because I did the quiz first time around. So I almost didn't do it because I was like, I don't want my Gryffindorness taken away. But then I thought a Gryffindor wouldn't be afraid of that.
Yeah, I did it, and I got Hufflepuff. I kind of want to recount. I don't think it's really right. But yeah, Hufflepuff.
I haven't done it yet. I have no idea. I think, am I allowed to do it at some point?
Oh yeah, you'll do it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I just did it and I got Gryffindor, so I was really proud.
I haven't done it yet, but I think I'd like to be sorted into Ravenclaw.
They're really interesting questions as well. I mean, I don't know how many Joe wrote in terms of, I think you got maybe 8 or something to decide, but I'm assuming, and they were saying that there's obviously a lot more. And they were just really interestingly written questions in the sense that I remember doing those, multiple choice questions as a kid in magazines and different things to find out, and they were just always really bad, and they always just gave you something that you knew you weren't. And yeah, I think it's interestingly designed. I mean, even though I think in terms of going back to the social media thing, what's so fascinating about Pottermore is the sense that there's a world that you can exist in and love and be within Harry Potter across globally. And I think for us, what was so unusual, going back to the question of what it was like being involved in this franchise, I think I'm so pleased and thankful that it began when social media and things didn't exist. And what's been amazing, even it was born and it came kind of in the middle of it, the fact that it didn't change any of our fans, I think is an incredible thing. Everyone still loved it for the same reason. It just almost enabled there to be more platforms to almost geek out, basically.
Hi there, my name is Dave Parfit, and I have another question from the team perspective, one specifically for Evanna and then the rest of the entire group. Speaking of social media, this actually comes from my 18-year-old daughter. She wants to know how Lil Puff is doing.
That's my cat. She's good. And I have a cat sitter for her at the moment. And I keep getting, I get daily emails, which I found quite exciting because it's like she's emailing me. And I'm aware it's someone taking pictures of it, but I'm just pretending and I'm writing back to it.
My daughter will be thrilled to hear that. The question for everybody, this actually comes from my 15-year-old daughter. She wants to know if you could play a part, any other part in the films, what would it be?
Hagrid.
Aim high then.
Like you tall. Draco.
Yeah, I quite like to try the other side of the coin, like Draco or someone of the darker side. Lucius,
Maybe a-
voice, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I'm quite interested to try a different gender, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think McGonagall or
Strong.
Yeah.
I'd look to be Dobby. Yeah. Like, and the Dobby in the books where he had all that style where nothing matched. He was so cute. And you'd get to skip makeup every day. That'd be nice.
Hi, my name is Bobby Sennell with Scholastic Kids East Press 4, and you guys have grown up with one another making these movies. So do you guys have, actually, what is one of your fondest memories of working together? And as well as, do you think the Harry Potter books has changed your perspective on reading?
Yeah, it definitely has. I think if anyone were to ask me even now, would I read like a 500 to 600 page book, I'd probably be like, it's a very short one. Yet knowing that as an 11 or like even 9-year-old child, I read that without question and I was just completely absorbed in it, I think has completely changed my way that I know that I could concentrate on that as a child, and there should be nothing now that I can't concentrate on at that level. I think we're so used to having like really quick, like we get bored so quickly because there's just so much stuff to watch and consume, and like 1 minute into a video we'll quickly just switch off and start watching something else. So I think reading for me is one thing that I know I can really just lose myself in, and I think it's just so amazing when you just see a child who's engrossed in a book. I think there's nothing more rewarding than that. And I think obviously for all of us it's been really interesting when you meet a lot of the parents of their children that are huge fans. The one thing they're always so thankful of is the fact that it's got their children to read. So I think that's always a really, or almost you find people who are like fans of the movies and they haven't read the books, and it's really nice to see them discovering it the other way around as well.
Yeah, I mean, the whole series of Harry Potter was sort of, it was a transition for me from sort of reading, smaller novellas, I guess, as a kid, children's books, and then I grew in my throughout the series of Harry Potter. That by the end of it, we were reading big, chunky novels, and then so when I finished Deathly Hallows, I naturally just my reading tastes moved into that, and my age as well. I'd grown up with it. And so now I find it quite difficult to read smaller books. I like to find big, chunky novels that I can just invest in and find the richness of characters and universe. And I think that's I'm not sure I would have taken that journey if I'd not done it with the Harry Potter series.
Sorry. We got a question right up front.
Hi guys. If you could pick one scene to film again to relive the moment, what would it be?
Oh, can I take this? Because it was kind of you asked a question as well, what was a fun scene? And I remember one of the funniest scenes was when we were in the room of requirements and you got the giggles, Rupert, really badly.
Which time was
that? Because the room was mirrored, so if you started laughing, everyone would see it and it would just ripple along. It took forever. And we were having such a blast and the crew were so angry.
The young bridge busting through the wall.
Yeah,
Did that
So we're all staring at the mirror, and you would like get it under control, and we'd all be ready, and there'd be so much tension, and then your shoulders would start and everyone would just go, and that was so much fun.
Everyone got so mad that day.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when we had to rewrite. Do you remember we had to rewrite that line?
In the common room.
Yeah. That was really mainly because of you. You couldn't.
No way, mate. No, that was your fault.
I think it was something like you're gonna get. I was threatening. I think I was threatening Malfoy.
No, it was Devon, Seamus. Yeah.
I said to him, "You're gonna get a fistful of Weasley." For some reason, that was hilarious. So they had to cut it. Yeah.
We spent a whole day on that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
It's a good line.
Hey guys, I'm Allison Walker with a local news station here. We're just inside the expo, the studio tour, so we got to look at your wigs, your makeup, and all that authentic stuff. So, is there something that y'all have at home that's something from the set, or just a memento that's cooler than anything that we'll ever get to, put our hands on?
If we did, he wouldn't have seen them, in the sense that they were so obviously careful of everything we touched in the films because of reasons of archiving them so that everyone else could almost experience them. So if I told you I had, they'd probably come after me. But no, unfortunately it pretty much exists. I weirdly find that coming here, I remember when we all first came here for the first time and the shops were actual shops that you could buy things in. Like, it didn't even get to that level when we were filming. Like, we obviously had, like, I remember stepping into Diagon Alley, we had the shop fronts and some of them were real shops you could go into, but I feel here actually is that place where you can go in and pick the stuff up that you read about and actually take it home yourself. It's almost quite unbelievable. I don't know, anyone has anything?
I stole the egg, the golden egg. I only had it in my possession for about 13 hours, and some of the Warner Brothers requested they wanted it back because it was worth $10,000.
How did they know it was you?
Because I was holding it and I was carrying it.
Oh yes.
In the hotel, yeah. It wasn't just, it was James Oliver as well.
You got the number from...
Oh yes, I did. I got away with that as well.
Yeah.
I took the number off Fruit Drive, number 4. So I still have that, which is quite a nice thing. But yeah, they were quite strict. I mean, you couldn't really steal anything, could you?
Well, I nicked a spoon. Which was like a rebellious thing that I did. And it was like, it was during the ball actually, when we had, like really fancy crockery and cutlery. And I nicked it. I don't know why. I just thought, I think it was just like...
Take something.
Yeah! I got a spoon. So lame. Yeah.
We used to like check in our wands. They used to like count them and then count them out. Like as you even had like a moment break or lunch or anything.
I didn't take anything. It never occurred to me. I was like, mostly when you take things like, a souvenir to show I was there. You go to Paris to get Eiffel Tower. And I remember people started saying to me, take something. And I was like, I'm on the film, obviously. Here's a DVD. Now I regret it.
Those, if you want.
Yeah. But now I wish I had. Yeah.
Hi guys, over here.
Hi guys. One second, we've got a young lady right here. Oh, your team. No problem.
Hi guys, I'm just wondering if you could tell me what you guys are most looking forward to when Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them and Cursed Child are both coming out this year.
Seeing them both, and almost not. I think what's the beauty of when we see them is that they're going to be, everything's going to be an experience for the first time. Like even though when we were in, I always loved when we watched the Harry Potter films, like the scenes that you weren't in to watch them the first time. It's going to be like that, but an entire movie, and knowing the people behind it is kind of exciting because I'm hearing like snippets of stories that people who are part of the crew on Fantastic Beasts and stuff. So it's really, it sounds amazing. So yeah, I'm as excited as any other fan. Really.
I went down for a set visit a couple of weeks ago, and I have no idea what is known and what's not, and what I can say and what I can't, so I'm going to say absolutely nothing. But it's having known absolutely nothing previous to going to visit, I was absolutely blown away by what they've got in store for everyone. And I can say now I'm incredibly excited about seeing it. I think it's going to it's going to really impress a lot of people, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Eddie Redmayne brings to the character and to the series. I'm sure he's not going to disappoint.
We have time for a couple more questions if anyone has any. There's one right up front here, there's a microphone right behind you.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Rupert, you were talking about how it's been a long time since you guys have been these characters. It's been 5 years since the last movie. It's been 15 years since the first one, which is crazy. But it's kind of a new fandom renaissance right now with the theme parks and the new movie and the play. So is there any desire from any of you to return to these characters on stage? And Matthew and Rupert, you've done Broadway and West End. in the films? Are you a little sad that you're not going to be in Fantastic Beasts? Like, is there any desire to go back to these roles?
I wouldn't know. No, I think it's enjoyable. I personally feel that 10 years within one role is a substantial amount of time in a way that all of us, I think we're very ready and very excited of the next chapter in our lives, both professionally, personally, even where we were physically. And I think it's always gonna, it can never leave us as an experience. Therefore, I don't yearn for it to be back in my life because it is part of me. Like, I'm never gonna like not accept the fact that it's given me amazing opportunities and experiences that I never would have had, and I'm incredibly thankful for that. And I just think it's generally exciting to know that it's always there for you, and I think that's why the fans, again, are just the best fans, because there's always somewhere to go. Whether that's just speaking to each other, which it's like when you have that experience that it's like hard to explain to other people, whereas the people we've experienced it with, they just get it, you don't have to explain it. So we can come back to one another, or we can come back here if we dress up, or we can come and be one of the characters dressed up on the street here. But no, I think it still feels like as part of me as it did when I was filming.
No, I think Bonnie was bang on with that. It's not something that I will ever regret for as long as I live. I had the most amazing time, and it set me up for the rest of my life in terms of, I grew up from being a boy to being a man throughout those films, and the people around there shaped me into becoming who I am today. So it's a huge part of my life that will never go. But in terms of the character, I feel like the story arc that Joe wrote and that we tried our best to put on screen was a complete one, and I feel that I took that journey and finished it the way I wanted to, and he will always hold a fond place in my heart. But I feel like I don't have any more I can do with Neville, and I'm happy to leave him as he is. I don't have any desire to return at the moment.
I don't feel that way at all. I have to say, like, as happy as I am that they're exploring the new universe and it's going to be new stories, I'm so angry that I'm locked out of it. Because, like, you don't understand, the first 4 films that came out, it was torture having to, like, wait for things and, like, stalk everything on the internet, and just every single day I'd be on MuggleNet, checking everything. And it was like such a relief almost, and such a privilege to then get into it and be like, right, I'm part of the gang now, I know things. And now I don't know anything, and it's really annoying, because I thought I'd got past that. So, and I liked knowing everything. So, I mean, it will be nice to see it fresh and not be, not see the behind the scenes stuff. But I do miss being part of it happening, and I would 100% in a heartbeat I would go back do more.
I think there's filming at a young age comes with a lot of innocence, and so I think that's what was really beautiful about filming it when I was a kid. Whereas now, being an adult, if I was to go back and do it, I think I would completely overthink and be really focused on character development and all these kind of things that I didn't have when I filmed it back then, and I think there was something really nice about that, just being able to enjoy the moment and being around other kids, and so it became a very real thing. But now I think it'd be very different. So
I think they made a huge mistake not casting me. No, I think it's going to be amazing. It's amazing that it's living on, and I can't wait to see it. Yeah, moving forward.
We have time for one more quick question up front here.
MuggleNet here. Evanna, you're welcome. So our question is, do you guys still read the Harry Potter books? And if so, which ones do you read?
Yes. I just got the illustrated Philosopher's Stone for Christmas, so I reread that. And Just other than that, it's like whenever I feel it, and I get feelings for certain books. Like book 6 is if you want to cry. Book 4 is if you want like adventure. Just don't read the end where you cry again. Don't read book 7 either. No. But yeah, I love that they're reviving them. I really hope they do more of those illustrations. They're beautiful. And I think, like, actually Harry Potter was the book that made me transition from picture books to just storybooks. Because up till then it was like, why would I read a book without pictures? And I think I would have loved to have illustrated editions. Back then it would have made it even more cool.
No, I've never read them in ages. I mean, I love them. They were such a huge part of my life. But I think I've closed that book now. Yeah, that's it.
I haven't read the book since they came out. I don't think I've ever read a book twice in my life, so I read them all once. I did go back and watch. I tried to watch the first film a couple of months ago. My intention was to watch all of them, and then I got like into the first one, and then my big stupid face came on the screen, and I was like, "Time out, I'm done." And so I didn't get any further than that. So I haven't even seen the film since they came out either. Oh, it's terrible.
I read the first book again. I wouldn't say recently, but I think that was the last one I read. And it's so difficult getting through a book, I find anyway. And I was saying to Evanna just yesterday, like, I think I've started about 40 books and not finished them. And it's great because, like, with Harry Potter, you can all, especially the first book, you just can't put it down. So I feel better about myself when I do finish it. Yeah.
No, I haven't read them recently. I think I'm quite excited at the idea of it'd be quite fun reading to like a friend's kid or a relative or something. I think it would be really enjoyable reading it to someone who is experiencing it for the first time and to sort of live through their experience. Like I brought some friends to the theme park this weekend, and it's just been really enjoyable watching them experience this for the first time, and you have to remind yourself how incredible it is. I think it's the same when we have visitors on set and different things. I would love to read it with someone for the first time.
Great, thank you all for joining us.